Welcome to English Podcast Motivation. I'm really happy you're here today. Today's topic is something many people struggle with, not only in English, but in life. And that is saying no. Saying no can feel very uncomfortable. Sometimes we worry about hurting others. Sometimes we feel guilty. And sometimes we just don't know what to say in English.
Oh, this is definitely me. Sometimes I say yes even when I don't want to, and later I feel stressed.
That's very honest, and you're not alone. Many English learners know the word no, but using it in real life is much harder. Because it's not just about language, it's about emotions.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes I think if I say no, people will think I'm rude.
That's a very common fear. But today, we're going to learn how to say no in a kind, respectful, and confident way. Not aggressive, not rude, just clear and calm.
That sounds really helpful because I don't want to be rude, but I also don't want to say yes all the time.
That's the balance we're going to build today. Let's start with a simple idea. Saying no does not mean you are a bad person. It means you are honest. It means you respect your time, and it means you understand your limits.
I never thought about it like that.
Many people don't. So let's go into a real-life situation. Imagine this. A friend asks you, "Can you help me move this weekend?" But you are tired. You already have plans. You really don't want to go.
Yes, this happens a lot.
So what do many learners say? They say, "Okay," even when they don't want to.
Yes, and then I regret it.
Exactly. So let's learn a better way. Instead of saying only no, we can use a soft structure. Here is a simple pattern. Start with appreciation, then say no, then give a short reason. Let's try it together. I really appreciate you asking, but I can't this weekend.
Oh, that sounds polite.
Yes, very polite. Let's break it down. I really appreciate you asking. This shows kindness. But I can't this weekend. This is your clear answer.
So I don't need a long explanation.
No, not at all. In fact, too much explanation can make it more uncomfortable. Short and honest is better.
Okay, can I try?
Of course.
Thank you for asking, but I can't help this weekend.
That's excellent. Very natural, very clear.
It feels lighter somehow.
Yes, because you're being honest without hurting the other person. Now let's try another situation. Your coworker says, "Can you finish my report for me?"
Oh no, that's difficult.
Yes, especially at work. You don't want to sound rude, but you also don't want extra work. So here's a good response. "I'm sorry, I can't take that on right now. I have my own tasks to finish."
I like that. It sounds professional.
Exactly. Let's look at one key phrase here. I can't take that on right now. This is very useful in work situations.
So instead of just saying no, I explain my situation a little.
Yes, but keep it simple. Not too long, not too emotional. Just clear.
Okay, let me try. I'm sorry, I can't take that on right now. I need to finish my work.
Perfect. That's something you can use in real life. Now let's talk about another feeling. Guilt.
Yes, this is the hardest part. Even if I say no, I feel bad.
That's very human. But let me ask you something. If you always say yes, what happens?
I feel tired, sometimes angry, but I don't say it.
Exactly. So saying yes all the time doesn't make you happy. It just hides your feelings.
That's true.
So learning to say no is not just about English. It's about taking care of yourself.
I like that idea.
Good. Now let's practice a softer way to say no. Sometimes you don't want to say a strong no. You can use a gentle phrase like, "I'm not sure I can."
Oh, that sounds softer.
Yes. For example, "Can you join us for dinner tonight?" You can say, "I'm not sure I can tonight. I'm a bit tired."
That feels more natural for me.
Exactly. Now let's do a small role play. I'll ask you something and you respond. Ready?
Ready.
"Hey, Enric, Can you help me study English for 2 hours tonight?
Thank you for asking, but I'm not sure I can tonight. I need some rest.
That was very good. You sound calm and respectful.
I feel more confident already.
That's great to hear. Now let's try a slightly harder situation. Someone is a little pushy. They say, "Come on, just help me. It won't take long."
Oh, I don't like that situation.
Most people don't, but this is where confidence is important. You can repeat your answer calmly. For example, "I understand, but I still can't today."
So I don't change my answer.
Exactly. You stay kind but firm.
Let me try. I understand, but I still can't help today.
Perfect. That's a very strong and respectful response. Now let's learn one more useful phrase. "I wish I could, but I can't."
Oh, that sounds very polite.
Yes, and very natural. For example, "Can you come to my event this weekend?" "I wish I could, but I can't. I already have plans."
I like this one. It sounds warm.
Yes, it shows that you care. Now let's pause for a moment. I want you, listening right now, to repeat after us. Say this out loud. "I appreciate the offer, but I can't."
I appreciate the offer, but I can't.
Good. Again, "I wish I could, but I can't."
I wish I could, but I can't.
Very nice. These are simple sentences, but they are powerful.
Yes, I can already imagine using them.
That's the goal. Now let's go deeper into emotions again. Sometimes the hardest part is not the words, it's the fear of how people will react.
Yes, what if they get upset?
That's a real possibility, but remember this. You are responsible for your words, not for their reaction.
That's a strong idea.
It is, and it takes practice to believe it. But when you speak kindly and clearly, you are doing your part.
So if I say it politely, I've done enough.
Yes, you don't need to feel guilty for having limits.
That makes me feel a bit more relaxed.
I'm glad. Let's do one more real-life example. A friend asks you to lend money, but you're not comfortable.
Oh, that's very difficult.
Yes, very sensitive. You can say, "I'm sorry, I'm not able to lend money right now."
That sounds safe.
Yes, it's clear, but not emotional.
Let me try. I'm sorry, I'm not able to lend money right now.
Very good. You're improving quickly.
I feel like I'm learning something important today, not just English.
That's exactly the point. Language is part of life, and today you're learning how to protect your time, your energy, and your feelings in English. And we're just getting started. Let's continue with something deeper. We've learned how to say no politely, but now we need to talk about confidence. Because sometimes, even when you know the right words, your voice becomes weak.
Yes, that happens to me. I know what to say in my head, but when I speak, my voice is not strong.
That's very normal. Confidence is not only about words, it's also about how you say them, your tone, your pace, your body language, even if people can't see you.
So, how can I sound more confident?
Good question. Let's start with something simple. Slow down.
Really? Just that?
Yes. When you speak too fast, it sounds nervous. When you slow down, it sounds calm and controlled. Let's compare. Fast version. "Sorry, I can't help, I'm busy."
Yes, that sounds like me.
Now, slow version. "I'm sorry, I can't help today. I'm a bit busy."
Oh, that sounds much better.
Exactly. Pauses are powerful. They give your words space, and they make you sound more confident.
Okay, I'll try to slow down.
Good. Now let's talk about tone. Sometimes when people feel guilty, their voice goes up at the end, like a question. "I can't help today?"
Oh no, I do that.
Many people do. But when your voice goes up, it sounds unsure. Instead, keep your voice steady or slightly down at the end. "I can't help today."
That sounds more confident.
Yes. Let's practice together. Say this: I'm sorry, I can't join.
I'm sorry, I can't join.
Good. Now say it again, but slower and with a calm ending.
I'm sorry, I can't join.
That's excellent. You can really hear the difference. Now let's move into a more emotional situation. Imagine this. A close friend invites you to something important, but you really don't want to go.
That's hard because it's a close friend.
Yes, the closer the person, the harder it feels. So in this case, we can add a little more warmth. For example, I really care about this, but I don't think I can make it.
That sounds gentle.
Yes, let's break it down. I really care about this. This shows your feelings, but I don't think I can make it. This is your decision.
So I can be honest but still kind.
Exactly. Now let's do a role play. I'll be your friend. Hey, Eric, I really want you to come to my birthday dinner. It means a lot to me.
I really care about that, but I don't think I can make it tonight.
That was very natural.
But what if they say, why not?
Good question. You can give a simple reason. I've had a long week and I need some rest.
So I don't need to give a big explanation.
No, keep it simple and true.
Okay, that feels easier.
Good. Now let's talk about another situation. When someone keeps asking again and again.
Yes, that's stressful.
In this case, you need to stay calm and repeat your boundary. Let's learn a useful phrase. I understand, but my answer is still no.
Wow, that sounds strong.
Yes, but still respectful.
Can I try?
Of course.
I understand, but my answer is still no.
Very good. Say it slowly. I understand, but my answer is still no.
I understand, but my answer is still no.
Perfect. Now let's make it softer. I understand, but I still can't.
Oh, I like that version more.
Yes, it's a bit gentler. Now let's do a short practice. I'll be a pushy friend again. Come on, Eric, just come for 1 hour.
I understand, but I still can't tonight.
Great. You stayed calm, you didn't change your answer.
It feels powerful.
Because it is. Now let's talk about something important. Sometimes people say yes because they want to be liked.
Yes, that's me.
That's very honest. But here's the truth. If people only like you because you always say yes, that's not real respect.
That's a little painful to hear.
I understand, but real respect comes when people see your boundaries.
So, saying no can actually make people respect me more?
Yes, because it shows that you value yourself.
I never thought of it that way.
Most people don't, but when you say no clearly and kindly, people learn how to treat you.
That makes sense.
Now let's practice a different type of situation. Someone invites you to something, but you want to say no and suggest another time.
Oh, that sounds useful.
Yes, very useful. For example, can you meet tomorrow? You can say, I can't tomorrow, but I'm free on Sunday.
So I'm not just saying no, I'm offering another option.
Exactly. That keeps the relationship strong.
So I can be honest but still kind.
Exactly. Now let me try. I can't meet tomorrow, but I'm free this weekend. Perfect. Very natural. Now let's make it a little warmer. I'd love to, but I can't tomorrow. Maybe this weekend?
Oh, that sounds really friendly.
Yes, it shows interest. I like this style. Good. Now let's pause again for speaking practice. If you're listening, repeat after us. I'd love to, but I can't.
I'd love to, but I can't.
Again, I can't today, but maybe another time.
I can't today, but maybe another time.
Excellent. These phrases are simple but very useful in daily life.
I can already imagine using them with friends.
That's great. Now let's go into a slightly uncomfortable situation. Someone asks you to do something you really don't like, maybe something that feels wrong to you.
Like what?
For example, a coworker asks you to lie for them.
Oh, that's serious.
Yes, in this case, you need to be clear and firm. You can say, I'm not comfortable with that.
Oh, that's a very useful sentence.
Yes, very powerful. Let's practice.
I'm not comfortable with that.
Good. You can also add, I'd rather not do that.
I'd rather not do that.
Excellent. These phrases help you protect your values.
I feel like this is not just English class, it's life training.
That's a beautiful way to say it, because communication is life. Now let's go back to something emotional again. Sometimes the hardest person to say no to is family.
Yes, that's very true.
Family expectations can be strong, so your tone becomes even more important. You can say, I understand and I respect your opinion, but I need to make my own decision.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes, and respectful.
Let me try. I understand and I respect your opinion, but I need to make my own decision.
That was excellent. Clear, calm, respectful.
I feel a little nervous saying it, but also strong.
That's the feeling of growing confidence. You can feel nervous and still speak clearly.
I like that.
Good. Now, before we continue deeper, I want you to remember one simple truth. Saying no is a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice.
So I don't need to be perfect right now.
Not at all. Just start with small situations, small no's, small practice.
Okay, that feels manageable.
Good, because what we're building here is not just English. It's a calm, confident voice that you can use in your real life. Let's go a little deeper and bring everything together. By now, you've learned many ways to say no. Soft ways, strong ways, friendly ways. But the most important question is this: can you trust yourself when you say no?
I think that's still hard for me. Sometimes I say no, but inside I still feel unsure.
That's very honest. And that's the final step. Not just saying no, but feeling okay after you say it.
Yes, because sometimes I keep thinking about it. Like, did I hurt them? Was I too cold?
That voice in your mind is very common. But let's look at it in a new way. If you said no kindly, if you were honest, if your words were respectful, then you did something good.
So I don't need to keep worrying?
Exactly. You can let the moment go.
That sounds peaceful.
It is. Now let's try a deeper reflection. Think about this question. When you say yes, but you really mean no, who are you helping?
Maybe the other person.
Maybe for a short time. But what about you?
I feel tired, stressed, sometimes even upset.
So in the long run, it doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
So saying no is not about rejecting people. It's about being real.
I like that. Being real.
Yes. Now let's go into a final role play, a longer one. We'll combine everything you've learned. Ready?
Ready.
I'll be your friend. Hey, Eric, can you help me with a project this weekend? I really need support.
I really appreciate you asking, but I can't this weekend. I already have plans.
Are you sure? It's really important.
I understand, but I still can't this time.
Maybe just a few hours?
I wish I could help, but I need to rest this weekend.
Okay, I understand. That was excellent. You stayed calm, you didn't change your answer, and you were kind the whole time.
It felt strong, but also respectful.
That's the balance. Now let's try one more, a different situation. I'll be a coworker. Hey, Eric, can you stay late today and finish this for me?
I'm sorry, I can't stay late today. I have something important to do.
Can you just do a little bit?
I understand, but I can't take that on right now.
Perfect. Very professional.
I feel more comfortable now.
That's beautiful progress. Now let's slow down for a moment. If you're listening, I want you to breathe and repeat these sentences slowly. I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'd love to, but I can't.
I'd love to, but I can't.
I understand, but I still can't.
I understand, but I still can't.
Very good. Let these sentences become natural for you, not just words, but part of your voice.
I think before today, I was afraid of this word. No.
And now?
Now it feels a little more friendly.
That's a big change. Now let's talk about one last thing, growth. Every time you say no clearly, you build confidence. Every time you respect your time, you build self-trust.
Self-trust. I like that word.
Yes, because in the end, the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself.
That's deep.
And learning English can help you build that, because now you have the words to express your truth.
I feel like I'm not just learning English anymore. I'm learning how to live better.
That's the goal of this podcast, to help you speak and to help you feel strong when you speak.
Thank you, Cade. This episode really helped me.
You're very welcome, Eric. And to everyone listening, you don't need perfect English to be respected. You don't need long sentences to be understood. You just need clear, kind, and honest words, and the courage to use them. Pause. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep being real.
We're learning together.
Thank you for spending this time with us, and we'll be right here with you on your English journey. Take care and speak with confidence.
See you next time.